his mother is trash. Yeah, said, ha! I won, innit? I needed more faith. I needed more fairy. People in fairy are trash. I'm going to be petty. I'm going to be shady. His brothers are trash. His sisters were trash. Carden. I'm sorry. This behavior is just not. He don't want to do it. He never wanted to do it. His father is also a bit of trash. Actions have consequences, innit? Yes, I have actually done it. I made a booktube alongside the bookstagram that I already have, and yes, I made a book talk as well. Yeah. Decisions. I don't know how long this will last, but like my bookstagram, I'm actually going longer than I thought. So maybe the booktube will go past a year. No promises. The book talk, I will definitely make no promises. I've been on there a day and it's utterly chaotic. I won't lie, I do love it. I do love the chaos, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm being drawn to the chaos every single minute of the day, and that's not healthy. So no promises. I'll probably be taking a break very, very soon. I'm already tired. So that's that. My name is Shelly. I just realized I didn't actually mention. I do this a lot. I actually never tell people my name. Yeah, and I love books. You know, I love reading them. I love buying them because that is a separate hobby in itself. And obviously, I love discussing them. And I realized that Instagram just wasn't doing it for me. They gave you a limit on how much you can write in your captions. Note to self and note to all of you guys, proofread your captions before you post. But because of that, I was just like, I always considered maybe a booktube would be for me. And then my friend came over one time, and then she was there when I got a call from my mom, picked it up, had a short conversation. I would say it wasn't that long, maybe an hour and a half. And then after I hung up, she was just like, now I see where you get that talking from. I was just like, okay. We don't talk that much. I don't talk that much. But it made me remember that, you know what, I would really love someone to just discuss my books with, or maybe I just like to talk about my books. So the real driving force of like me wanting to make this video was obviously I realized Instagram was cutting me off, but it was after I finished the second book of the Folk of the Air series by Holly Black, and I was just writing my review for Bookstagram, and I'm just like, no, I have more to write, and it wasn't allowing me. It capped me off, and I said, no. There's so many more things that I want to say, and I'm just like, guys. And so I'm like, you know what, Shelly, it's time. And impulse took me over. I was having a really impulsive day. Put up the poll on Bookstagram, and y'all said, Shelly, make a Bookstagram and give us content. I said, Shelly, let it be done. And lo and behold, was done. And so here we are. I'm giving y'all content like y'all asked. So that is why we are here. We don't know how long we'll be here, guys, but it shall be fun. I can actually talk your ear off. I can talk up a storm. Who knows how long these videos will be. I will try my best to make them short as possible. But let's get straight into it. Today, I honestly wanted to make a video just because I wanted to discuss The Wicked King, which is the second book in the Folk of the Air series by Holly Black. The first book was good. Like, I was just like, this is pretty good, because I was hearing so much hype around this book, and people loved Holly, and I had just finished reading Akotar, so the entire series, so I needed more faith, I needed more fairy, I needed more magic. I'm just like, I need that world again. Only difference is Cruel Prince, Wicked King, all of them, they are young adult, whereas Akotar was new adult, and so Akotar was a bit more graphic, and obviously it was longer, it was more descriptive, and so when I read Cruel Prince, I'm just like, this is good, but I need a bit more I need a bit more kick, and I would love a bit more description of fairy being the world that all the fae live in. But considering it was young adult, it was actually really good. I actually really enjoyed it. And like most series, the second book is where all of the chaos truly begins. Okay, let's discuss this, yeah? Let's actually discuss this. I always say, and I truly am a believer of the fact that second books are always the best. And we know this. Obviously, the first book, they set up the foundation, and it's world building, and it's introducing characters, and all that, yada, yada, yada. And that's great, you know, because you can't be doing that throughout the book, because that's just going to annoy people, or it's just going to make it so complicated. So doing that in the first book is solid. So the second book is where all the action really starts. So, I do recommend the Folk of the Air series. Now, if you haven't read it, or at least read the first book, or at least maybe half of this book, maybe direct yourself away from this video, go read the book, and then come back. Yeah. If you are okay with spoilers, or you have no intention of reading the book, that's right as well. Feel free to just watch, listen, and just who knows what you're doing here, but you're here in it. First book, Cruel Prince. Obviously, the siblings got taken away to fairyland after Maddox, their adoptive father, killed their real father and their mom. We saw what it was like for the siblings to actually grow up in fairyland. The fact that because they're human, the fairies actually pick on them, like they're basically inferior because these fairies are gorgeous, forever living, they have powers. Like, it is probably not the best place to grow up in, if we're being completely honest. And the youngest prince of the royal family is in their class, and he is a menace. Cardan. I'm sorry. This behavior is just not okay. It's not okay, okay? I do not give a heck. This man was straight up bully. I don't care if you're a prince. The fact that you're being allowed to bully people, please, take him out. And as a human, obviously, she couldn't. First book is all a bunch of chaos. Fairyland is cruel. Cardan is the cruelest. Competition. Secret spies. Coup at the end. Death. Like, first book was a lot happening, which is why I'm telling you, you need to find yourself over to the first book before you come here. Now, so we're in second book. Yeah, Jude, the main character that we're focusing on. She's a twin. Her twin sister is Taryn. Her older sister is Vivi, who is half fairy, because their adoptive dad is Vivi's actual, like, real dad. That's a lot, but like I said, read the book. Yeah. And so Jude was part of the coup in the first book to basically snatch the crown from the rightful and chosen heir, and she won. But the crown that she snatched has to be placed on the head of, obviously, someone who is related to the original king. So who does she make a deal with? One of the king's sons, the one that she hates and who hates her but not much. Like, their relationship is a bit chaotic as well. And he don't want to do it. He never wanted to do it. But she tricked him into, making a deal with her for a year and a day. And after he agreed to that, she got that crown on his head. She got everything she wanted. And she said, ha! I won, innit? She really thought. Second book comes, even though he's under her control, he said, I'm going to be petty, I'm going to be shady, I'm going to be spiteful. So we just come into the book, and the plot is fast-paced. You just see, months after all that chaos, what's going on. She's basically the shadow ruler, commanding Prince Cardan. He is hating it. He's lazy. He's not doing any of the work. But to be fair, he never wanted the job. So that is fair game. And the plot is moving fast. We're finding out that there are schemes. Some people still didn't want him to be king. The person who was trying to be king is in jail, but he's plotting with another... Oh, it's a lot. Another part of fairyland known as the Undersea, Nakaja's homeworld. Nakaja being... Oh my goodness, the chaos in this book. Yeah, let's start over. See, guys, this is why I thought I could talk to Storm, and it's just not healthy for me to be on booktube. But let's keep going. Okay, Jude. Okay, Jude from the first book. She's gotten Cardan under her control, and she's put him on the throne so that she can protect her brother and her family. Maddox, her adoptive father, was teaming up with Dane, Cardan's elder brother, to steal the crown from the kingdom. It was chaos. Maddox lost. Okay, Jude won. But Jude is hearing of plots and schemes to obviously take over. And she is working with her association of spies to stop this. And all of this is going throughout the book. Now, while all of this is going on, Jude and Cardan are having this intense, like, sexual tension going on between them, because he hates her but he can't resist her. She hates him but she can't resist him, especially after finding out that he can't resist her. And then throughout the book, all of it is just sexual tension and I don't like you but I like you type of energy. This, classic enemies to lovers. And with this book, at least it was genuine enemies, as in, like, he tried to kill her before. She definitely wanted to kill him before. Like, it was a classic enemies to lovers trope, which was fine with me. It's not my favorite trope, but I do appreciate a classic enemies to lovers. And then you have the side characters, which I feel like characters really make a book. So let's just actually spend some time on these characters. Yeah, Jude is a frustrating person. Like, I like her because she's a bit of me. Like she's who I would be. Like, you know what, you can beat me up if you want to, but I will keep resisting. You know what, if you want to kill me, you have to try hard, and I'm going to keep coming and keep coming until you finally snuff me out. Jude is my type of person. She's not going to lay down on the grass and die. Like, you want to bully me? Bully me. I'm not standing back. Like, I love that for Jude, but she's also stubborn, which is also me. It's not a quality of mine that I appreciate, but I know it's there. So I recognized it in Jude. I didn't like it in Jude. I feel like her stubbornness was worse than mine is. So no. And she really don't learn from her past mistakes. Like, we saw in the first book what happens when you go out on your own, when you're alone, especially when you have allies who are willing to help you. And they actually told you, if you're going out somewhere, Jude, take one of us with you. Don't go there alone. Did Jude listen? No. And what happened? She got kidnapped and held for like, what, a month? Spoiler. Yeah, I did say at the beginning, if you didn't read them books, I can't do anything for you anyway. But that's her fault. That's why she's frustrating to me. If you would just listen, yeah, and have some common sense, where would you be? Probably not kidnapped. Nonsense behavior. Let's move on from her, yeah? Cardan. Cardan, this book was really good because it took us through like his background, because obviously characters like this have to have some type of background. You cannot just be evil. I mean, some people can, but Cardan, you could tell that there was some depth to him, and he wasn't just he just wasn't a cruel person. Not totally, anyway. Or there was a reason if he was totally cruel. And so we got his background, got a bit of his history, and so, you can sympathize. Like, one, his mother is trash, yeah? His father is also a bit of trash. His brothers are trash. His sisters were trash. People in Fairy are trash. All of them are kind of trash. Let's not lie about it. And so, of course, Cardan would end up being trash. I'm not even surprised. So we're just going to blame Fairy, his parents, his siblings. We're just going to blame them for Cardan. Actions have consequences, in it. Okay, then. But regardless of his past, I always say this. You can't be using your past like this. I'm sorry. We understand that your past makes you who you are, but when you recognize that there is an issue, maybe try to sort that out. And I already picked up that Fairy didn't have therapists, but maybe they should invest in some, okay? Because he needed therapy, okay? He needed therapy. Okay, next. Madoc, her adoptive father. She said it before. He loves her in the way that he can love. Madoc is a fairy, and their view of love is kind of twisted to begin with. So obviously, though his ability to love is limited. But Madoc is so amazing to me. I think Madoc is amazing. Madoc has goals in mind. Madoc knows who he is, and he's just like, listen, yeah, I know what I want, and I know what I like. I like war. I like fighting. You know what? I want power. And if I have to play a 10-year game of chess to get to power, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And that's exactly what he did. The minute he knew who Oak was when Oak was born, I know Madoc was just spinning every possibility in his head until he came up with this coup. I love it. You know what? The coup was wrong, yeah. And his plan to use Oak to like rule was wrong, but I appreciate someone who thinks things through. I appreciate someone who has ambition. His ambition was a bit overreaching, but I appreciate ambition, and I support him. Okay, I support him a bit, maybe not too much, but I did. Okay, now Taryn. I said this in my Instagram review, and I'll say it again. I don't like her. I was gonna say I hate her, but I felt like that was a strong word. I don't like her. Listen, Taryn, I can understand that, and it's true that as humans, we all have this desire to feel like we belong and to feel to be wanted. We all have that natural inclination. You all have that desire within us, and even worse for like people like Taryn and Jude and Vivi and all that, because, well, Taryn and Jude specifically, because they're humans in a magical world, so they already don't belong. Yeah, so I can understand doing your best and trying your hardest to fit in or to find that place where you fit in. And as someone who really loves the trope of found family, I can totally sympathize with wanting to, you know, find your place to fit. But you see, Taryn, she is the worst example of doing this, okay? I cannot stand how she did it. Like, the level of desperation Taryn shows and the lengths to which she goes to in order to be accepted, I kid you not. I was reading, like, even from the first book, and especially in this book, I was reading, and I'm just like, oh, I am disgusted. I was just looking at Taryn, and I was just like, Taryn, are you not embarrassed?
Are you not ashamed of yourself?
Are you not embarrassed to be moving mad like this? No, Taryn, she can kick rocks and bye. I don't like her. Reading the second book, I specifically did not like Taryn. Like, there were so many other people to not like, but Taryn, I just said you specifically. Me, I don't like you, and it's going to take a lot for me to like you. That's as I was reading the second book, that's how I felt. Now, Locke, her little boo thing. Locke over here, guys, this man is a psychopath. That man is a psychopath. Like, at first I was just like, ah, you know, he definitely has a scheme. In the first book, you could tell he had a scheme he was playing. When it was revealed what that scheme was, I was upset. I was just like, that's not cool. That's not okay. I know everyone in fairy schemes, but that wasn't okay. So I disliked him, obviously, after what he did to Jude. But his insistence to play games or, you know, to find a story which interests him, basically toying with everything and everyone around him just to entertain himself, and he doesn't care who gets hurt in the process, that man is a psychopath, okay? And the fact that he actually attempted to hurt a few people and did hurt a few people, that man is not okay. Okay? Locke and Taryn, both of you, that's what y'all got in common, okay? So maybe you guys can hitch it up and get together on that basis alone. The fact that you guys both suck and I don't like you, okay? I feel like I ranted enough for that. I mean, I have more to say about them too, but let's just let them slide. Nacasia, you know, side characters like Locke just draw out a lot of, I think, the hate that probably Maddox and Carden probably should have received. But Nacasia's one of them that I'm just like, sis, you are irrelevant. And you are getting on my nerves with your irrelevancy. I'm just like, please, take a seat, go. Like, we don't want you here. Bye. The Undersea was lovely from its description, and I was impressed with how pretty Nacasia was described to be. That's the only good, and that's the only redeeming quality I found in her in the second book. I do wish that there was more world building with the Undersea. Like, I love things that have to do with the ocean, love books that have to do with the ocean. Like, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea is literally one of the best reads I read this year. And so I kind of wish that they explored that more. It was fun to actually see, to actually read what we read in it. Read what I read in it. But I was kind of hoping for more. But obviously, this is YA. They have a word limit, you know, and it's not as descriptive as like an adult book would be. So I do appreciate like them introducing us to the Undersea, but I definitely would love a bit more. You know, maybe even a side story in the future would be nice. Not about Nacasia. Like I said, I don't really care for her. She's irrelevant to me. Oh well, what we gonna do? Like, just. It wasn't doing that much for me. But yeah, the characters in this book, it made the book. It definitely made the book because they all had their different motivations. You know, some had development. Carden, some did not. Taryn, she had development, just not in the direction that I would want it to go. I also just don't like her. I feel like I'm just biased towards her. I don't like her, yo. I don't care for her. Like, she used to go. I've even forgot about Vivi. Vivi is one of them characters that I'm just like, sis, you really are determined to do nothing. You are determined to have no part. Whether the world is ending or, you know, the world is going to go on, she did not care. She's like, just leave me out of it, you know? Just let me live. And if the world ends, let me die. She did not want to be a part of this. She's like, she's in her own little bubble. I actually appreciated that from Vivi. Like, I like her. She was vibes. Vivi was vibes all day, every day. And I appreciate that. I am solidly with her for that. But seeing how the characters carried that plot, guys, it was very enjoyable. It's one of them books that I I started it, and then I was just like, "Ooh, this is good," and then I kept going, and I read it in one night. I kid you not, I read it in one day. It's one of them things where I'm just like, it's a slow day at work. Let me just peek and read a bit more, and I did. Oh well. And then I headed over to the third book, and the third book is another book to discuss. But this one was the juiciest. Like every trilogy, the second book is always the juiciest. It definitely was great for me. I loved the interactions between the characters. The plot was nice and fast paced, so I didn't get bored. Thank the Lord. The enemies to lovers, the way it moved along. I think in the second book, it seemed like the enemies to lovers was still a bit chaotic, but it became more natural as time went on, which I truly appreciated. But yeah, guys, there is my rant for this second book. I'm so happy you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, obviously come back for more. I have more books to rant about. I have more. I just have more to say about just everything regarding books. I am so happy to actually be able to yell at a screen, and just let everything out. So thank you, BookTube, for being my outlet. If you watch this, oh well. Now, I don't know what else I'm ever going to say on here except rant, but let's see. It's going to be a fun month. I'm going to give myself a month on this thing. It's going to be a fun month. But until next time, bye.